Yan. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm the one having the internet connection problem here, Martin.
All good,
Yeah.
Ayun. We are live.
All right. Yes, we're live right now on Facebook. Am I loud and clear? Martin,
Yes.
am
Yes,
I
I can
loud and
hear you,
clear?
Armand.
All
Yes.
right. All right. So, before we start, let me introduce first our guest for today's show. So, ladies and gentlemen, dreamers and doers, welcome to the Armand Show, the ultimate platform for personal growth, empowerment, and transformation. I'm your host, Armand Villanueva, and I couldn't be more thrilled to have you all here with us today. So, our mission with the Armand Show is to ignite the hope and resilience in each and every one of you. So, life, guys, is a journey filled with ups and downs, challenges and triumphs. But here's the truth, guys. Within each of us lies the power to overcome and rise above and to unleash our true potential. So over the course of course over the course of the show, we'll be exploring the keys to unlocking personal greatness, embracing positive mindsets, and crafting the life we've always envisioned. We'll bring you exclusive insights from seasoned experts like our guest for tonight, thought leaders and inspiring individuals who have faced adversities head on and emerged stronger than ever. And today, we have the pleasure of welcoming
Reconnecting si Armand. Okay.
Hello, Martin.
Yan, welcome back.
I think
Welcome
we're
back,
having a
Armand.
trouble. Loud and clear again.
Yun. You're back. Yan, okay.
All right. So once again, okay. So once again, guys, get ready to be inspired, motivated, and equipped with practical tools that you can apply on your own journey of growth. This isn't just a show; it's a transformative experience designed to propel you towards the life you deserve. And don't forget, guys, to engage with us in the comment section, share your thoughts, and connect with the incredible community that surrounds the Armand Show. Remember, together we can create a ripple effect of positivity and uplift those around us. So, without further ado, let's kickstart this empowering episode of The Armand Show presents Ignite Hope and Resilience with our fantastic guest, life coach Martin Cruz. So let's set our souls on fire and embark on a journey towards a brighter, more resilient future. So, guys, before calling Martin, I'd like to read his not biography, but uh, his his short. Wait, yeah.
Background info lang.
I'd
It
like to
did.
mention some things. Hello.
Yes. Go, Armand.
All right. So I'd like to introduce our guest for tonight. He is Martin Cruz, and he's a dedicated facilitator with a passion for personal development. Since 2018, he has undergone intensive training in life coaching programs by T. Harv Eker and Tony Robbins. Wow. In 2021, Martin expanded his expertise by exploring alternative healing modalities, including ayahuasca, kambo, cold immersion therapy, breathwork, yoga, and meditation. Having battled depression since 2014, Martin's purpose is to ignite hope and resilience in individuals, supporting them in overcoming life's biggest challenges. His blend of extensive knowledge, experience, and
Reconnecting. Okay, Armand. One moment.
hello, Martin. Are you still there?
Yes, yes. I'm here,
Uh,
Armand.
okay. So, having battled depression since 2014, Martin's purpose is to ignite hope and resilience in individuals, supporting them in overcoming life's biggest challenges. His blend of extensive knowledge, empathetic nature, and life experience creates a potent formula for personal transformation. Martin fosters a secure and empowering environment for personal change and growth, emphasizing the profound strength found in vulnerability and how it can inspire. So, without further ado, let's all welcome on screen our fantastic guest for today, for tonight, no other than Mr. Martin Cruz.
Yeah, and happy to be here, Armand.
Martin,
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
hello, Martin.
Yes, and you're back. Yeah.
All right. So, do you want to say before we start? Do you want to say something to our guests or to our audience for tonight?
Yeah. For the audience tonight in the Armand Show, welcome. Again, this is an open space. This is my first time to be here in the Armand Show. I met Armand naman through our mentoring team back in 2019, I think, or 2000 before the pandemic, I
Yes,
believe.
before the pandemic.
Yun, and then yeah, I know Armand had his vision. He had his legacy. I was actually um medyo malalim. Like his vision was deep. No, it wasn't just get money yung ganun. So I'm actually here to learn also from Armand tonight. And whatever you ask, I'm here to share openly with you. So that's the least I believe I can give to all of you tonight.
All right. Thank you, Martin. So let's start now our question and answer, our interviewing for tonight. So,
Game.
Martin, what inspired you to become a life coach, and how has it impacted your life?
Okay. So first question, so
But before
yun
that,
actually just
Martin, sorry,
yeah, yeah,
Martin.
okay.
Before that, can you tell us what do you do? What were you doing before being a life coach?
Okay, yeah. So yun. So the my quick backstory, which will usually cover the gist, no, the main part was yun. It was back in 2014. So I I graduated kasi from college. I was in college from 2005 to 2010. So I took a 5-year course. It had this masteral degree na 2011 I started working in my first job corporate. 3 years. So I burned out after 3 years. 2014, half a year I wasn't working. Yun mga November 2014, I started getting into yung life insurance industry. So Armand's very familiar with this. This is how we cross paths. And then 2014 was also a notable year for me kasi I was in this 9-year relationship, and then going on 2014, yun parang I was in a downward spiral wherein parang I was burning out, sorry, from my first job. And then yun parang at my worst. nag-move on siya. Yung my partner, my girlfriend back then of 9 years. And then, yun, parang it was very tough for me. I didn't know what mental health, emotional health, depression, anxiety, all that stuff was back then. So 2014 was a key year already for me. I was trying to seek answers, healing, if ever that's the proper term for that. And then it was only later on, kasi I just tried to focus on work, yung life insurance. I produced, I achieved yung first full year ko, 2015, Achievers Club. 2016, 17, 18, I did $1 million round table. 2018 became a turning point naman for me. So that's when I took another leap of faith. So before I used the term life coach, no, so I enrolled in seminars first. So this is a big one, no, yung kay T. Harbecker, yung Quantum Leap. So I invested a lot of money. Back then in 2018, that was like 310,000 for like 5 seminars over the course of a year, no, T. Harbecker based. And then I continued pursuing, like developing that. 2019, I met a life coach, Coach Pam Santiago, who passed away just earlier this year. So he's one of my mentors. 2020, I took Tony Robbins. So first, you usually take Unleash the Power Within. So I wanted to do the live, yung firewalk, pero it was due to COVID, it became virtual. And then I took Date with Destiny. So this is another big leap kasi normally Date with Destiny would cost you like $5,000 na. So parang using my life savings for that. So I wouldn't, again, I don't think Tony Robbins, he's like one of the highest level mentors I look up to. I wouldn't
Mhm.
necessarily call myself a life coach. I'm actually just trying to heal myself. And then whoever in the process can, like, I can help along the way. Yun, that's what I do. So from 2014 to now, that's my process. It's been highs and lows, healing and pain, pero maybe just like you, Armand, no, I'm in the process. So if ever there's a life coach out there na parang fully healed na ako, I'm enlightened, I want to meet you. Because I've never really met a
Mhm.
life coach like that. They're usually also healing their own wounds, ganon. So, I'm in the process of that. No? So that's like my quick intro from 2014 until now. No? And then, what was the question? Yung main one, Armand.
Okay, so what inspired you to become a life coach, and how has it
Mm.
impacted your life? Or how, let's say, the path to personality development na lang. The path to
Okay.
personality
Okay.
development.
Yes.
How did it
Yeah.
impact your life?
Okay. So yun. Perfect question. So in 2018, kasi that's when I started really investing money into paid seminars. 2014, I found mentors like that guy in my dream board. You'll see that usually in my cover photo na Owen ko. The people I look up to, usually free yun. You do research on YouTube or parang these communities, you get involved in them. Then I started paying for seminars, like yung kay T. Harvecker is. Usually it's like the Millionaire Mind Intensive, Money Mindset. Then you get into personal development kasi it's so much bigger than that. It's so much more than money. Yun, it made a huge impact on
Mm.
me kasi that was really, for me, it felt like, and I'm a thinker, parang INTJ, introvert thinker. That felt to me like the realest answer to fix. Like, I felt broken, like, inside. So that felt like the realest answer to fixing my broken self or healing what I'm going through. So whatever you want to call it, like heartbreak, self-worth,
Mm.
self-discovery, like that. Yun, that made a huge impact. That has kept me alive from 2014 to today. 2018, it became more conscious kasi intentionally, it's not just reading a book. seminars are very experiential based. So like now, you'll talk to someone live action. You can test it on the spot. So I love that. That's how I learn, no? I was the student in school na parang palaging nakaganon ako sa teacher. So the teachers get so
Mhm.
annoyed. They're like, why are you asking so many questions? Like, that was me back in school, no? So I had one teacher na nga in college, nakakahiya. She was pregnant pa at the time, no? So very highly emotional. Umiyak pa siya. So I was like sent out of the classroom because I was asking too many questions, no? So yun, personal development, that path, where a lot of life coaches end up in, that was really the solution to yun whatever I was going through in 2014, depression, my mental emotional health. Yun. And Armand would know a bit of this kasi even though I produced in the life insurance industry, an achiever, you're part of the top 2% or 6% yung million-dollar round table. Million-dollar round table for me, the meaning that meant most to me was they weren't selfish. That's why I was open to mentoring Armand, who was from a different branch. I didn't mind that because the million-dollar round table mentors I met weren't from different branches lang ah. They were from different companies.
Mhm.
And they were from different
Companies.
countries. So, yung to mentor Armand, parang easy mode lang yun eh. And it's still not easy kasi it can be controversial if your branch doesn't understand, may intriga, diba, whatever like that. So,
Yes.
yun, parang I was just paying it forward. And that's what I love yung million-dollar round table for, not just the production or the money. And then, yeah, it's been a process so far of that. Life coaching, I guess, it's like paying it back lang. Life coaching is like the work of us helping other people along the way. For lack of a better term, no? Kasi you could be called a coach, you could be called an influencer. That's like a worse term, no? Joke. So you could be called whatever, diba? Parang celebrity. But as long as you're doing the mission of helping people, and I mean like that, like healing work, like helping people with their biggest problems in life, even if it's not related to money or life insurance, yun, that's why they call it a life coach, no? So yeah, parang that's the path that I've been on. And yeah, so far I feel like a baby, parang new to it pa lang kasi I don't know about you, Armand, baka you've already had a lot of students or your audience, pero starting maybe 2 or 3 years ago, yun, parang I feel like I have a long way to go. Like I'm starting out. I'm just starting right now. No? So yeah, that's so far that's the impact while Armand is reconnecting. That's the impact of personal development on me, and then this path going into life coaching. So yun, while Armand's connecting, again, people watching the live or the replay, yeah, just feel free to comment, ask questions below. No? And Armand is back. Yan. So yun, that's how my path ended up so far in the Armand. So in personal development, and then yan, yung impact in my life. So ito, last one
Wow.
before you
Thank you
ask
for
the
sharing
next
that with us.
question. Oh, a transition lang before we ask the next question. The biggest impact for me is it's like saving my own life. That's how I would explain it. Parang yung sinashock ng dibdib, like the defibrillator. So every day, I apply the lessons on myself before sharing it or teaching it with other people. And I feel like if I don't do that, I'm gonna die. Ayun, good evening, Sir Lino. Uh, Watching from Pasig. So I'm from watching from Muntinlupa, from Alabang. And I hope Armand's connection is good there. So far, okay yung converge dito. So yeah, feel free to flow to the next question, Armand. So that's the biggest impact on me. It's like a lifeline for me.
Yes, I think we're having trouble with the internet connection, maybe because due to the typhoon, right?
The weather,
But
yeah,
here's
yeah,
my
there's
next
a
question.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. Here's my next question. Our title, our show is about igniting hope and resilience, and you have mentioned that as one of your purpose or life's purpose. So, Martin, how do you define resilience for you?
Nakakabitin yun. Life's purpose, how do I define? Yeah. So while Armand's reconnecting, I do have an answer for my life's purpose or mission. So yeah, just waiting on you and
All right. So, Martin, so
yes, yeah,
how
Armand's
do you
back.
define resilience? Yeah.
Resilience,
How do you
okay.
define resilience, Martin?
Perfect. Okay, that's another really good question. So resilience, my personal term is not giving up on life. And this is timing also you're asking that because in 2021, 2 years ago, November, I reconnected with a, a batchmate from high school. And this might sound really weird, but he's a magician. So, and he had an incident wherein he lost one of his eyes. So, someone smashed a bottle on his face. You know? So, his handle or like his name on Instagram actually is resilience with Mark. So he is like one of the most recent examples of like real life examples of resilience to me because he's been through so much. He lost a part of himself literally, one of his eyes, side of one of his eyes. They had to, uh, I think, remove the eye even, no, because of the optic nerve damage. So yeah, parang that guy Mark, actually my friend, just 2 years ago, he's a living example of resilience. So again, just to recap my personal definition of resilience, it's not giving up on life. And the way I would say it, just for me personally, is to just get up every day. Some people, it's so hard to just get out of bed. And I'm not, I know there are people on different heavier levels. Like if you're clinically depressed or you're taking meds, yung ganon. I'm not on that level. So for me, it still is just hard enough to just get up and face the day or get through the day actually. So resilience is not giving up on life and then doing doing your vision. So that maybe that's for another question. No? This my vision board behind me. Doing your vision and your mission, like what I'm meant to do in this lifetime or in this world. No? So for me, that's resilience. To not give up on life and to live my mission and purpose. Yun. I'm curious though. So while Armand's reconnecting, people watching the live and the replay, no? If you could comment below what your definition of resilience is in your own personal example, no? In your own life. I'm curious. Armand and I are curious actually. So comment down below. So yun, Armand, that's my definition of resilience, not giving up on life, and then to face each day by living my mission, my purpose in life while I'm still here.
Hello,
Yun.
Martin.
So yeah, did you catch that? So I'm okay for the next question, but yun, that was my definition of resilience. Not giving up on life and then to live my mission and purpose in life, no, while I'm still here.
Wow. All right. So, can you share, Martin, a personal story or experience where resilience significantly impacted your journey?
Ooh, wild this one. Okay, so just top of mind na lang to. This is resilience back in 2016 eh. And then, sige, I'll just try to keep it the simple version lang. So in 2016, this was a big leap of faith for me. Kasi in my career, starting out, in my career as a life insurance agent, I I was trying to do $1 million roundtable, which is a very big milestone. So if like you just start out and then you do like first level achiever, $1 million roundtable is like here eh. Parang it's such a high level. And then personally, it wasn't just the work side of it. I was also going through a very low moment in my life. And what I mean by that was, so I guess this is my life now. I'm openly sharing. I had this motorcycle, like a Kawasaki ZX-10R at that time. And it's the type of motorcycle, it's a super bike that you can hit 299 kilometers per hour on the expressway as long as you have an opening. No? So do it responsibly, however that makes sense to you. And then I had another very low moment in life, an incident where I had food poisoning. So I felt like there was a moment in my life where that was it. Like I was almost gonna die na. And resilience, to connect it to Armand's question, is there was one person who helped me get by actually that year. And then it was a stranger, and it was just like a random message that was said to me, like "Hoy July na," and then it made me feel like somebody cared. I don't know if you believe this, Armand, pero like I started to see God in people. I'm not that religious kasi ano. So I started to see God in people, and it was like one of those moments. I don't know if this was like a random angel or moment like that. And it helped me not only hit my MDRT later on, from that point halfway to December, it also helped me not give up on life that year in 2016. So it's like when one person just encourages you when you felt like the rest of the world wasn't supporting you. So that was a very low moment in 2016 that and then that happened. So yeah, that moment saved my life. It was just like you have no idea when like a few words from some person made such a big impact on my life. No? So I'm very thankful for that moment. That was my example of resilience. Yes, I had to do the work. I had to not give up, but that moment was really a lifesaver for me in 2016. So yeah, I mean, I could try to take all the credit and say I just did it all on my own, no, but that's not how it was for me in 2016. I might not be here if not for that experience. Yun. Yeah, I think top of mind that's my resilience example, I would say. While Armand is reconnecting also for people watching the live and the replay, bonus answer for me is every day is like it feels like an exercise in resilience. Because I don't know how many of you can relate here, but every day I wake up, I started counting my blessings every day, consistently, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. If you can scroll in my Facebook profile, it's public, and see how far back I've been counting my blessings every day, yun, like, man, I'll give you a prize if you can tell me how many years back I started. Resilience for me is bonus answer is it's a day to day thing. If I don't count my blessings, I don't know if a lot of people know this. If I don't count my blessings every day, I feel like something bad's gonna happen. Like something really dark, or I might end up killing myself like that. Again, however you want to interpret that, that's just how I feel. Like that's why I do my counting my blessings. It's like people call that gratitude practice. For me, it's just for my it's just so I don't kill myself. It's just resilience practice maybe for me. So yeah, people watching the live replay again, I'm very curious in the comments to see and read also your definition of resilience, like a story or an experience you had in your life of what resilience looked like. Yeah. So okay, Armand, while he's reconnecting, I know Armand also sent a list of other questions. So while he's reconnecting, let's see if I could find some of those other questions that Armand asked. Okay. So don't worry, Armand. This is also a real life example of how life works, right? Sometimes it's the internet connection. Sometimes things don't go our way, but no problem. I got you, Armand. So I'm just checking Armand if he did send past messages on the guide questions.
Hello,
There you
Martin.
go. Welcome back,
Yes.
Armand. Yun. So yeah, I just answered the personal story of resilience, yung example. Yeah. Yan, yeah. Okay. So I think nakamute pa, Armand. There you go. Yun.
All right. I transferred to my phone.
Ayan, so nakadata na. So I was saying this
Yes.
is a real life example, no? Sometimes things don't always go our way in life, but that's resilience also. So,
Yes.
real
Yes.
life example ng resilience to.
Yes. That's true. In fact, yesterday I canceled the show. I postponed it because I don't feel well. I was.
Yes.
I'm just gonna.
So yun. So I just shared yung personal story on resilience.
Okay. So for my next question, Martin,
Yes,
let
yes.
me have it. Okay. So what are some common challenges people face when trying to ignite hope in difficult circumstances, or how can they overcome them?
Okay. So common challenges that people face in my personal experience, because sometimes people also put that, like when I started Real Talk Lifeline in 2020, sometimes people put their biggest challenge in life. So a lot of it, there are common themes, but then if you want to go to like the deeper common factor, it's usually fear and its cousins or different forms. So mine is, let's say, as a personal example, then I'll share the other common ones. Mine is like fear of the unknown, fear of uncertainty, fear of failure, parang ganon. Fear of
Mm-mm.
success. Like, what if I become $1 million round table, but I cannot sustain it year after year after year after year? then I'm like a fake, parang imposter syndrome like that. So yeah, the biggest challenges I see with people is it's usually yun, parang fear, their belief, exposure. I think that's an answer I would give to one of them, which is why I welcomed you in the mentoring team. Not just to solve all your problems, just so you can see like the difference of, let's say, sample, like if you're with Diamond, I'm with Alexandrite, or
Yes.
whatever the name is. If you're with a different company, you're just gonna see what it's like, what's possible, in other words. No? So yeah, a lot of common. Actually, with your what I love about your question is many people don't have the awareness. I won't even say courage yet. They don't have the awareness to speak their truth. Meaning, ito, I'll give you a live example right now. If you're asking me, like, how's my career right now, yung work,
Mm.
how's like my future, whatever like that, my answer to that is, I don't know, man. Parang, I don't have it figured out. That's my answer. The common challenges that people have is, I think they're not even aware. Parang they're just gonna follow. I think Armand, you can relate to this. They're just gonna follow like a
See.
job, or
Yeah.
parang kasi in school you have to be a doctor, you have to be a whatever, diba? Marketing dapat ganito ka. So you're more awake than them. What I mean by that is you're more conscious. You're just like you have more freedom of choice na ganun. That is not the ultimate solution yet kasi okay, we have more awareness, but then it's still like I don't know what to do. Parang yun yung next challenge. And then now
Yeah.
I'm
So
here. Yun. So now I'm here. I'm
so you're
trying to.
what you're telling
Yeah.
is awareness is really the key, right? Awareness is
Yeah.
really the key for them to wake up.
Correct. Correct. Oh, the biggest challenge, and then awareness. Yun.
So Martin, in your opinion, what are the key factors contribute to maintaining a positive mindset during challenging time?
Oh, okay. Key factors. This is based on experience. So yun, when I started counting my blessings, the key to a positive attitude, I didn't realize that when you do gratitude journaling, again, whatever you want to call it, counting my blessings every day. Oprah does it, like she really writes every day on her journal, her gratitude journal. Uh, some people call it reframing. Parang when there's a negative situation, try to see the positive in it, ganon. That's actually not just a skill. Parang it's like working out. You have to practice it pala every day. And
Mhm.
I don't know this. Nothing but love for my family, my mom, everything like that. Sometimes our environment, we're not aware of it. It's very negative pala. So when you hear like the words that your own mother could say by default, again, nothing but love, nothing but love for our
Mhm.
family. It could have been your grandparent, it could have been your uncle, your auntie, it could have been your cousin, diba, who you grew up with. Parang palaging galit, palaging there's like a negative like what are you focusing on, diba? We're not aware. So yun, it takes conscious practice also, that if not, that will become our default. So yeah, so practicing positivity in the form of gratitude journaling. Mhm. In my version's counting my blessings. Environment, so you could actually change or you can design your own. So that's what I learned from Tony Robbins. Here he calls it platinum partnership when I joined it. So all it is your mastermind, your inner circle, your group. They're highly positive, high level people. Um, again, high level of awareness, consciousness. They're just, yeah, I don't know how else to say it. Parang they're not selfish. They're, and then all of the positive traits you can think of, they're like that. You know? Yeah. So
All
inner
right,
work, then it's
Martin, can you
environment.
explain to us? You have mentioned.
Yeah, sorry Armand, and nag-echo siya.
Hello?
Go.
Nag-echo. Wait. Is it
Parang
okay
nagre-repeat
na
yung
ba?
audio. Yun, I think it's better.
Oo nga, no? All right, Martin, you have mentioned to us about not being selfish.
Yeah.
Hello? About not being selfish. I have a question. When do you think selfish is not being selfish is not being selfish?
Okay, yeah. I actually understand that question. Okay, so being selfish becomes not being selfish when uh, ito. Sorry Armand, parang nag-echo pa. I don't know if it's dalawang device or something. I'm checking lang. But yun, so while Armand's reconnecting and fixing the audio glitch, I'll answer the question. So when does being selfish not stop being selfish? It's the mentor actually of Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, said this. So his answer was when it's enlightened self-interest. So what's enlightened self-interest? It's where everyone wins and nobody loses. So what does that mean? It's another way of saying it is it's win-win, where selfish is usually win-lose. So I win, but you lose. I win, but it's at the expense of somebody else. No? So that's the kind of selfish that I don't like. No? So uh the best answer. Oh, ayun, Armand is back. Yun. So the best answer for when selfish is not selfish anymore is when it's in Jim Rohn's terms. He calls it enlightened self-interest. So it's win-win. Everybody wins, nobody loses. So normally, the stereotypical selfish thing is I win, pero Armand loses. So I don't like that. I don't like that kind of selfish. Parang it will drag someone down or may talo. And why do I not like that? I know the feeling of being on the receiving end of that. You know? It's very, it's not sustainable. It's very destructive. So I don't like that selfish. So enlightened self-interest, diba? Parang there's the healthy kind of taking care of yourself. It's win-win naman. So everybody wins, it's healthy, it's good for all.
All right. Speaking of taking care of yourself, that's called self-compassion, right? So,
Yun,
what do
yeah.
you think is the role of self-compassion in building resilience?
Okay, self-compassion is super important. Actually, that's one of my biggest challenges. So self-compassion is like self-love, self-acceptance, self-worth, self-esteem, all those related ones. And when I was taking my life coaching or the seminars I was paying for attending, there was one last year lang, I believe, no? It was like a level 2 seminar I was taking with Coach Bam Santiago. And then one of the parts, my sharing was the voice in my head was, I'm a worthless piece of shit. So when you say self compassion is the opposite of that. It's loving yourself. And it, as hard as it is for me to say that, that's really how that was the voice in my head. That's how I felt. That's how I feel at times. So
Mhm.
whenever I get these compliments or like mentor mentee, they're like, "Wow, galing mo, Lodi," all that. There's a part of my head that's like, "Martin, you're a worthless piece of shit." So self compassion is, it's like showing kindness and love to yourself. And a quick bonus answer to that was, because we're doing actually a seminar in August
Yeah.
in Iloilo. There's a part there that teaches you how to unconditionally love yourself. So and if you just want to get an idea, you're like, how do you do that? If you have like Armand, do you have a pamangkin, like a nephew and niece?
Yes, I do have.
Yun. So imagine lang don't do it, pero imagine lang saying all of the mean things that you say to yourself to your nephew or your niece dun sa pamangkin mo. And sorry for the audio, the viewers, what I'm about to say. That's fucked up, man. Parang if ever I said that to my niece or my nephew, parang my heart would feel like it would die. So why are you saying it to yourself? That's self compassion. So learning how to unconditionally love yourself all over again. So, and if you're wondering, well, why did that happen to you, Martin? That's a long story. That's a long answer, no? But the short answer is, you're not alone. You're not crazy. If you also can relate. And I've met people with very good self compassion, yung self confidence, and that's really good, if you have that down.
All right. So, Martin, hello.
Yes. Yes,
So,
I can hear
speaking
you,
of
Armand.
self-confidence, yes, speaking of self-confidence, do you recommend any specific strategies or exercises to help individuals overcome self-doubt and build self-confidence?
Okay, yeah. To overcome self doubt and to build self confidence, this is just my personal answer, no? Because there are different ways to do it. My personal answer, and in my mentoring team, I teach this to them for the work side, is give your mind proof, not promises. So what do I mean by that? Let's say for Armand, I don't know if I share this with you. In our industry, life insurance, investments. So when I closed one of my first biggest cases, because let's say a 1 million peso investment, that's big na. So my first two big
Mhm.
ones was like 5 million. The biggest one was 15 million na single pay, one time placement. The reason why I was able to close the 15 million back in 2000, I think 2016, that's my first $1 million round table. The reason why I was able to close 15 million one time single pay was because I heard of this crazy woman in a really good way named Mickey Martinez. Baka you know her from Diamond. And that time,
Yeah, yeah,
she
I know her.
closed. You know her, no? So yeah, the daughter of Miss Che Martinez. She closed a 250 million single pay case client. Like I don't know if it was one or multiple, but yeah, that back then in 2016, top of the table was like 14.9 million FYP. So in plain English, she did 15M FYP qualification. She's like instant top of the table. So she did 250 million and it's real. I did 15. So it's for Armand, what I mean by ano, and the viewers, what I mean by give your mind proof, not promises is, it's like in the gym, may nagbuhat ng 250-pound dumbbells or something. And it was a girl. She lifted the heavy weights, the heavy ass weights. All I had to lift was 15. Eh, she did 250 eh. So that's my example, real example of giving my mind proof, not promises. It's not fake. It's real. And then the mind will seek answers like, oh, how did she do it? Seek mentors, seek solutions like that. And then my last bonus tip for that is in the more recent years, maybe 2, 3 years ago, I believe, I encountered this guy named David Goggins. So he came out with a book, Can't Hurt Me, and then he has a second book already that more recently came out. So David Goggins, why I give that as another example of overcoming self-doubt. So confidence, what I learned is confidence is built when you have competence. So when you do it
Wow.
so many times, and like this, kunyari Armand, we're doing the StreamYard now, and we still have challenges. It's okay. We're not giving up resilience. We're gonna do this pa rin. If this was the very first time, imagine Armanda, if this was the very first time that both of us ever did a StreamYard live, we wouldn't have self
Mm.
confidence. We would go, bro, what's the button to push? How to reconnect? Ganun, diba? So self confidence will naturally come
Mm.
from experience or competence, like doing it correctly. It doesn't have to be perfect, but doing it correctly again and again over time. Yeah, just not giving up. So, yun, give your mind
Yeah,
proof, not
actually, Martin, I have
promises.
heard that from one of the.
Yeah, ano yun, Arman?
Hello, Martin.
Yeah, you said you heard
Actually, I
that
have heard
from.
that from one of the mentors of Mind Valley. Do you know Mind Valley? Have you heard of
Yeah, si
that
Vision Lakiani.
platform?
Yeah, Mind Valley.
Yeah, yeah, Vision Lacan. I think it's Jim Quick. Jim Quick has mentioned about confidence competence loop,
Yes.
right? So I think that's
Yeah,
what you're
Jim
trying
Quick.
to tell that the more confident you are, the more competent you will be, and the more competent you are, the more confident you will become. It's just a
Yes,
loop,
yes.
right?
Correct. So for people who lack self-confidence, which I could relate to, my suggestion is start with the competence. And what I mean by competence is because some people have this perfectionist disease, right? The achiever's disease. I could relate. Like super high standards, it has to be perfect. No, parang Tony Robbins says perfection is like the lowest standard because we never achieve it. Ganon. So if you want to build self confidence for those without it, again, I can relate. Start first with the competence part in the loop, and then one day, like let's say I grew up as an average guy, payatot, skinny with a belly. Some people will start to say, Martin, parang pogi mo, guapo mo, like that. And I didn't know how to take compliments before. So what I had to learn was, okay, I'll exercise. Okay, I'll wash my face. Kahit safeguard lang or something like that. And then, because the other men, parang my skincare, whatever pa sila eh. And then I just had to learn basic grooming. Parang stuff like that, which I'm still learning. Kasi I'm a hairy guy eh. Medyo mabuhok ako. So, the more competent you are, people will start giving you feedback. The more confident you'll start to feel, even though you say, oh, chamba, whatever, whatever. You'll start to
Mm.
become more confident because of your competence. And yeah, over the course of time, including Armand, 2016, 17, 18, I had like 10 MDRT mentees. So even
Oh,
though one side and one of them became successful, Louis Jimenez. I'm so happy. I love that guy. Even if the voice in the back of my head says, Martin, you're a worthless piece of shit, I have proof. I have evidence. You were one of my mentees, Armand, diba? So that will build your self-confidence also. Kasi you parang you had to make you made effort and you were competent. Kahit isa lang, kahit 10 lang ganon. And then keep building on that na lang. Keep giving yourself proof. So yeah, it's a challenge, but that's what worked for me.
Okay, going. Hello, Martin.
Yeah, I can hear you, Armand. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So going back to the title of the show, which is resilience, about igniting hope and resilience. So, how can someone find their purpose in life, or how can someone find their passion in life, and what are the steps they can take to
Okay.
pursue it?
So that's like $1 million question, no? Because okay, so all I can share is my experience, and then I'll share something that maybe it can help you parang get there in your own way, no? So the way the way I found my purpose or mission in life, ironically, was from a course here. The course was called Mission to Millions. So it was T. Harv Ecker's course, kasi 5 courses in the Quantum Leap program. It was a course on how to find your purpose or your mission in life. And then bonus na lang how to monetize it or something like that. So I took a course on that. I had to pay for it. I went to Johor, Malaysia for that back in January 2019. And here's the kicker. People from different countries flew in, they took the course with me. Not everyone found their purpose or their mission yet when they did their first try of that Mission to Millions course. So it made me realize it was ironical because there was a mother daughter combination. The daughter, who the mother paid for their tickets, diba? The daughter found her purpose, her mission in life. The mother didn't. So it was kind of funny pero hassle din, no? Parang yung nanay pa yung hindi na nag-breakthrough. So it made me realize it's possible, like that can happen. Like, so you're not alone if you feel lost. You made an effort, an attempt to discover it, and you didn't find it on your first, second, third try yet. It happens. So mine, I'll just share quickly, was to help people not uh, give up on life. That's how I wrote my mission or purpose in life from January 2019 onward. So your mission will usually come from your greatest pain. Again, there's a process you go through the course. But then my short answer na lang, kasi if you want the longer answer, like if you want me to debrief, share the best lessons from that course, it's not a substitute. Parang still attend it if you could afford to invest in it. No? But then my short answer for that is you can find your purpose or mission in life if it's like there's this weird exercise they say. Parang if someone put a gun to your head, what would you really do with your life? So another way of saying it without being too dramatic or violent, no, is it's like if this was your last day to live, because maybe we got COVID or cancer or whatever, diba, parang ganon. What does your heart, diba, and your mind align, your soul, like what do you really want to do? Like what am I here in this world to do? So part of my reason is aligned with this. That's why I'm doing this StreamYard, like this interview, the Armand show with you, because it's aligned with my mission, my purpose. If uh there are
Wow.
many hints, but yeah, for yan yung short answer. Yan yung short answer that I can give you.
I, I see. So, can you share us some tips on creating a maintaining healthy relationship that supports personal growth and resilience?
Okay, yeah. tips on maintaining relationships, and then it's connected to yun, personal development, growth, resilience. So the first step is actually, I would say, it's vulnerability, or being authentic. So if you look up like the TED talk of Brene Brown, she has a really good talk on vulnerability. And then David Goggins, he also says that like we have to start with the truth, meaning if I can't even tell the truth about myself. So let's say 2014 going on 2018, I had to say like to myself like I'm fucked up. Parang I don't know what to do. Like I felt like damaged goods. I Even if people say things are like don't say that, bawal maging nega, whatever. Like fuck you and your face. Sorry, with all due respect. This is really how I feel. Like this is what I'm going through. Like honoring my truth, admitting it, and then in all humility, it's just like asking for help from there. What just to share, one of my lowest moments. I'm
Mm.
trying to remember if this was 2014 or 2016 when I had a really low moment. Like I felt like I was ready to die na. I had a really low moment where I was just in the room, the bedroom, and I was like, Jesus, if you could come down, I just want to talk. Again, not that religious, but then hey, parang
Mm.
I still think he's a cool guy, no? Jesus. So it was that low na parang I was imagining, like when I was a kid, I used to watch cartoons, yung Flying House, diba yung mga ganon, Jesus cartoons. I was like, Jesus is like, man, can we just talk? Kasi parang, I feel like I'm gone na. Parang I feel like I'm on borrowed time. Parang that's how I felt. So the first step is vulnerability or authenticity, to just admit it. Whatever it is for you, whether it's a heartbreak, feeling depressed, dead, your sexuality, your family, diba, or anything. There's some people I know they ended up in jail. So it's just being honest, authentic, vulnerable. Then the next step is you will start to attract. There's this saying, your vibe will attract your tribe. And it's a very painful process, Arma, like what I'm going through. You can lose friends and they're
Your
gonna make
vibe
fun
will.
of you. Yeah, you probably know this. Yeah,
Mm.
parang they're gonna make fun of you. They're
Yes.
gonna say, diba? They'll say shit like depression's not real. They're gonna make fun of you or your situation like that. So going beyond that, diba? Going beyond that, you will start to meet people who are actually very understanding, very loving, and very healing. Like they're supportive. Like yeah, and they will start to help you because there are people who will be ahead. And here's another thing to remember why I'm doing this with you in the Armand show. There are some people behind us who don't even parang step zero, step negative one pa sila. So
Mm.
like if they see this show, they're gonna be like, oh, there's a T. Harv Eker, there's a Tony Robbins, 'di ba? Oh, si Martin,
Mm.
si Armand, Pinoy, local, 'di ba? So, hindi lang pang US to, 'di ba? Like, this is real, like that. Yun, parang we can also help other people who are lost on the path as well, as we're trying to heal, get better, and then help other people in the process. So yeah, your vibe will attract your tribe. It's a painful process rin. It's not like perfect, heavenly lang, diba? Meet the angels, diba ganon? You will meet some actually. Yun, parang when you enter really good environments, MDRT, Tony Robbins. Yeah, there are some other environments, Metro Shady, like a lot of networkers, people who are like selfish, diba yung mga win-lose
Mm.
na scenarios. So we just learn how to um, like one of the biggest lessons I learned was personal boundaries. So parang learn how to protect your own no, yourself. Don't let people abuse you, ganon. And then yeah, parang from there you will start to go on the right path, and then like get better like one step at a time. That's what I would say. Anyone watching this live or the replay, you're already like on the path. Parang you're taking one, two, three steps already, and then research like, oh, who's this? T. Harvecker, Tony Robbins, David Goggins, who Armand mentioned, Jim Quick, diba? Mind Valley, Vision Nakiani. So you're gonna start finding direction like a north star, and then yun, parang your discernment, intuition, parang it will all align lang.
Wow, I'm speechless right now, and I think there's nothing I can ask more. And I think before we end
Is
our show,
okay.
is there something you'd like to say to
Mm-hmm.
our viewers?
Yeah, to end, like, for the viewers is the hardest thing for me when I was starting out was to be crazy enough to just ask. And again, you're saying, Martin, ikaw yung student na palaging tas kamay asking questions. When we go out in the real world, like when it's at the office, di ba, parang your branch, whatever, it's even harder. It's even harder to speak up or ask. Armand knows that also. So
Yes.
yeah, if people watching this live or the replay, the mere fact that you comment lang in the chat, for me, I see that's a lot of effort. You're already putting yourself on the line. So if you want to get better, or you want to ask Armand or me any question, like, I feel lost in life, so I don't know what to do, or can I need help with this. Even if Armand or I don't answer it, and if you type naman, we will reply, we'll respond. I hope that God, the universe, whoever you believe in, you send it out, you are gonna get an answer. You're gonna get an answer. And I've been doing that for the past years since 2014. The answer isn't always literal or perfect, but I believe it will come to you in some way. You will get an answer. So the last thing I feel like sharing is parang send it out there. Ask, type, diba? Help,
Yes.
ask the question, ganon. Yeah, that's what I feel like sharing. No?
Wow, thank you for that wonderful insights, Martin. And I'd like to talk to you, to our audience, to our viewers. And there you have it, no, dear viewers, an enlightening and empowering episode of the Armand Show with our incredible guest and fantastic uh, friend here, life coach Martin Cruz. We hope you've taken away valuable insights, you found inspiration, and a renewed sense of hope and resilience. And please remember, the journey to personal growth and transformation is ongoing. Each day presents an opportunity to learn, evolve, and embrace the challenges that come our way. As we conclude this episode, let's take a moment to reflect on the wisdom we shared today. The power to ignite hope and resilience, which resides within you. Okay? So believe in your ability to overcome obstacles, turn setbacks into stepping stones, and shine brightly in the face of adversity. And don't forget to practice self compassion, as our friend mentioned a while ago, self compassion. Yes, for it is the foundation of personal growth. Be kind to yourself, celebrate your progress, and remember that it's always okay to stumble. What matters is the courage to get back, or to get back up, and keep moving forward. So, Martin, we want to express our deepest gratitude for gracing us with your wisdom and unwavering support. Thank you for being a guiding light for so many journey for so many to their journey in to to greatness. So as we bid farewell to this episode, let's stay connected and continue the conversation. Join us on our social media channels, share your stories of resilience, and support one another on the path to fulfillment. And don't forget, guys, to tune in next time for another impactful episode of the Armand Show. We promise to bring you more captivating guests and meaningful discussions and empowering moments. So, Martin, would you like to promote something where we can find you, where the audience can find you?
Yes. So yeah, to end the session is you can find me on Facebook. That's my name, Martin Cruz, or facebook.com/Martin Cruiser. Kasi may Martin Cruz na. So just add ER. I'm also on Instagram, and then yeah, if you want to follow my mission work, it's Real Talk Lifeline. So what is that? It's having conversations like this, like what we had with Armand, whether it's with you, diba, with other life coaches or guests. So that's the kind of work I love doing, and it's for healing myself and others. No, so Real Talk Lifeline. And then yeah, remember to follow the Armand show. So Armand's profile and his page, of course. So excited actually for your next guests also.
Thank you, Martin. I think that's a wrap up for today's soul steering episode of this show. Uh, until then, guys, keep embracing life's challenges, for they are the stepping stones towards your dreams, and keep believing in the power of hope, for it can move mountains. And the most important, for you are an inspiration to all of us. And thank you, Martin, for being part of the Arman. And I hope that we can invite you again.
Yes, yes. You're welcome, Armand. Resilience to the internet connection is not gonna stop us. So
Yes, maybe because of the typhoon, but uh, like what you said, nothing can stop us.
yes.
All
So
right.
yeah,
So
thank you,
thank you,
Armand.
Martin.
Yes. Thank
Salamat.
you to the viewers. Happy. Thank you. We love you.
Bye, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you. Sending love for all your support, guys. Bye, Martin, and thank you.